Hey guys, welcome back and time for an update on the Hayabusa. So again, this is going to be an update to the previous videos about the Hayabusa project. We are going with a Street Fighter. I've gone between Calf Racer and Street Fighter, and I really like the look of the Street Fighter. But I want to take in the retro style of the Calf Racer. So I'm trying to actually, we're trying to go for a sort of a hybrid look. So here you can see the Ducati tail. Notice the tail of this bike. This is sort of this was a bike that we looked at for a frame of reference. Going on, you can actually see how big the previous subframe was to the Hayabusa. That's what this piece here is. Under that, we've got the big hunk of plastic. That is the wheel well essentially. And you can see it's got the little toolkit and everything, but it's a big hunk of ugly plastic, and we want a more chic, classic, vintage look. Just so you can see how simple we're going for is, we want a tail section that you can store computer equipment in, which is a problem with a sport bike, and we want a simple, durable frame, so we can cut down on weight. Challenges include where we put the battery. We end up putting the battery above the monoshock with enough clearance so that there's no grounding out into the seat plate. We had to make a battery tray. So the battery tray seats above the monoshock basically. So you can see with the carbon fiber overlay, with the carbon fiber over that frame, there'll be ample space within that sort of little hump at the back to actually store the things we need to store. Now I'm dubbing over this, so I'm going to go off topic, but you can sort of see in this upcoming clip how the tail is actually held in place off of the actual frame of the bike. Now a unique challenge is actually a heat sink computer module, which you're going to find that on the left side of the bike under some plastic. And where we had to actually move that, Alex made this really nice alcove under the seat where it sits nicely. I'll show that picture here. When you're working with a sport bike, you have some challenges, and a lot of these custom bike shows, they show a bike that has little to no electronics, so hiding wires, things like that, is very easy. On a complex, high compression four-stroke engine with water cooling and all this kind of stuff, there's all kinds of electrics to deal with. And so when you're going for this simple look, it can be a real task to get this stuff to fit somewhere. The battery has very little clearance, but even with load on it, there'll be no contact. If you're working on a different bike, that could be a different story, so keep that in mind. Now, one of Alex's many talents is being able to operate a TIG welder. I remember way back I used to do a little bit of just regular stick welding, but this is something that requires a really creative knack as well as a great amount of technical ability. So this is stainless steel on these cross members, so because of the need for that tungsten inert gas weld. So if you're gonna have this kind of thing done, keep this in mind that number one, that's a very expensive welding unit, and number two, you'll need someone who can operate it. So you may want to go and seek out a metal fab shop, something like that. And so you're starting to be able to see where the battery tray is going to be now. It's mounted, started with a tack weld and then a weld straight across, and that thing is on there, I tell you. Excellent job. And the battery fits in that perfectly. So there will be a band securing mechanism to keep the battery from vibrating, hopping up and down. What you don't want is the battery contacting the seat post. Another thing in this particular case is that the way the tank mount bracket actually fits stock did not work for the seat style that we're going to be putting on. So we actually had to we had to actually cut out a section of that piece so that the tank could move up and down and we can actually get the seat in place. So this is just a slight modification, as you can see here. We're just cutting a center part out and then welding it together. Now, we wouldn't do a change on this project without doing an upgrade. So instead of having a plastic undertail for the water and muck to be slung, this is going to be carbon fiber. So fancy. Moving right along to the seat post, we decided to go with a wood seat post for the foam to be affixed to. And underneath there is a space for the battery. Like I said, it's tight tolerance, so we had to have a way to actually raise the seat a little bit. On top of that, layered foam, using heat cutting and molding, and you can start to see the shape come into play. The tail, it really, you can already see, even without the upholstery, that the shape is sort of going back to that original Ducati I showed in the beginning. Upholstery is a different sort of challenge. I'm really impressed with this seat that Alex did. His first seat he's ever made. He's just an incredible dude. It needs a little tightening up in places. That's nothing that a upholstery shop can't do. They can take the seat as is and sort of get the little wrinkles out. So no biggie there. But excellent job overall. You can really see from this angle, that less is more in this case, I believe anyways. Well, I'll leave the critiquing up to you guys, but this is where we're at, and we're going to be starting on the front real soon. As always, thanks for coming back. I appreciate each and every sub that I've gotten. It's awesome to even have even one sub that really cares about what you're doing. So thanks again. We'll see you next time.